Be sure to check the timestamps in the description to easily navigate the video. And welcome back to Lycan Studios. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. So, today we are going to be talking about some popular theories about Gendry. Yes, Gendry. King Gendry. No, I'm just kidding. I can't even say that without laughing. I think it's very unlikely, but we are going to be discussing possibilities of Gendry sitting on the Iron Throne, as well as maybe just what he will be doing in Game of Thrones Season 8. Before we jump into the video, I do want to say Happy New Year's to everybody. It is 2019, which means we are finally in the year that Game of Thrones will be returning to us for Season 8. I can't wait. With that being said, I also want to get back into the channel shoutout. So for today, we do have Mel of Winterfell. Huge shout out to her. She's been with me since the beginning. I just wanted to say thank you very much. If you'd like to be in the channel shoutout, just continue to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, you'll get picked one day. I promise. And last but not least, make sure to leave me a question if you would like to be featured in the Q&A video coming up within a few days. And also be sure to check out all the social medias and make sure to smash that thumbs up button if you enjoy the video. Let's jump into talking about Gendry. So we first meet Gendry working as an apprentice at a King's Landing blacksmith. Looking just like his father, Ned Stark quickly figures out why Jon Arryn had sought him out before. He is Robert Baratheon's bastard son. After the death of his father, Gendry manages to escape the massacre of Robert's other bastards in King's Landing. Gendry is slated to join the Night's Watch, but ends up being captured and traded multiple times. First to Tywin Lannister at Harrenhal, then to the Brotherhood without banners, and finally to Stannis Baratheon on Dragonstone. After escaping from Dragonstone with the help of Davos, Gendry returns to King's Landing and remains in hiding until Davos returns for him. He later accompanies Jon Snow north of the Wall on a mission to capture a White to use as a bargaining chip at the Parley in King's Landing. Even though Gendry was absent at the Dragon Pit meeting, we can pretty much assume that he's on his way to Winterfell with Dany, Jon, and Davos. I'm sure most of you guys didn't need that little summary, but now that it's out of the way, let's talk about this first theory that a lot of people have been sending me. Now, even though this isn't a spoiler video, I may reference some that I've read about and learned about throughout the long night, so make sure to click off the video if you do not want any spoilers. You've been warned. But anyways, theory number 1 talks about Robert plus Cersei equals Gendry. Yes, that's right, we're actually talking about Robert and Cersei legitimately having Gendry. This theory claims that when Cersei is talking with Catelyn after Bran's fall, that the black-haired beauty who died shortly after birth is actually alive and is actually Gendry. I'm not too sure how I feel about it, but we'll break down some more of the evidence. We're looking at a possibility that Cersei faked her son's death and sent him away. Now, hold the phone right there, because we do know one thing. Cersei loves her children. No matter how evil she is, she absolutely loves her children. So I don't really think I could be convinced that she would really send one of them away, even if it was Robert's. I think that even when she is talking to Catelyn about it, you can tell that she's truly sad. And she even talks about how she never even visited him afterwards, just because I think it hurt her so badly. And furthermore, when she's talking to Robert about their kid, you can tell that she really genuinely loved Robert once upon a time. So I just don't think it's plausible. Now, of course, these are just my opinions, so we'll continue with the theory. The theory goes that Cersei faked Gendry's death to Robert and instead sent him away so that her future children with Jaime, including Joffrey, would claim the throne. This is pretty interesting, and also that Gendry grew up in Flea Bottom, which was very poor, but managed to land a job as an apprentice with the most prestigious armorer in King's Landing. What gets me most about this theory is I'm pretty sure they go on to reference the books afterwards. Now, you guys know that I haven't finished the books, but from what I gather, it looks like they don't even reference the black-haired beauty in the books, but they do talk about how Gendry became an apprentice at that blacksmith. They actually paid the blacksmith twice, once for his silence and then once for the actual apprenticeship, which they of course do not mention in the show. So we're combining two things that we really cannot combine. Now, it is pretty mysterious how Gendry just all of a sudden ends up going to the Night's Watch when they start to kill all of the other bastards. What exactly goes on there? Definitely leave me a comments with your opinions down below, but it seems like in the books, the only way that it could be true is if Cersei didn't even know about Gendry. That's kind of what I'm gathering. What do you guys think? And then in the show, I honestly think that the only reason Gendry made an appearance, the main thing, is to just show that the seed is strong. He talks about his mother having blonde hair, but he's just describing to Ned that basically, if you take Robert and a blonde-haired woman, you will have a dark-haired kid, showing that Robert's kids, the 3 that were with Cersei supposedly, were Jaime's: Tommen, Joffrey, and Myrcella. So even if you guys are sitting there like, yeah, he hasn't even read the books, he may not know what he's talking about, I still have one more point that pretty much clears up everything for me. I don't even need to know anything about the books, I don't believe, because, like I just said, we named off Joffrey, Tommen, and Myrcella. 3 children. Maggie the Frog. 3 words. That's all you need to know. Maggie the Frog's prophecy says that Cersei will not have any children with Robert. Well, she may have had the one that died young, but does that really count in a prophecy? I don't believe so. So she's going to have the 3 children with golden hair. You know, the ones she has. With Jaime, obviously not with Robert. So 3 children, that's all she's going to have, which also means that she's probably going to miscarriage this baby, or it's going to die, or she's not even pregnant. So yes, combine Maggie the Frog's prophecy with the fact that the only reason they needed Gendry is to show that the seed is strong, that if you take Robert with a blonde-haired woman, you still have a dark-haired kid, all of the Baratheons, dark of hair, you have, yeah, you do not have Robert plus Cersei equaling Gendry. It's Robert plus some wench equaling Gendry. But yeah, those are just my opinions. But anyways, so we basically said, or I'm saying, that the most important role that Gendry played was just showing that the seed was strong, but now that we have Gendry established and he made his entrance for what he was needed, he will be put to use and his skills will be put to use in Season 8. So we're going to talk about a few Gendry predictions before we move on to the second and final theory. So I'm sure it's easy to predict that Gendry will most likely be crafting weapons made out of dragonglass used to fight the White Walkers. I mean, he is a blacksmith. But other than that, do you guys think he will end up with Arya? I cannot wait to see that reunion, but I'm starting to almost lean towards him being with Sansa. If, a big if, Gendry lives and a big and is legitimized, this would be the perfect way to combine the Baratheons and the Starks, just like Ned and Robert planned on in the beginning. I'm still at the conclusion that Arya will not stick around Winterfell. She'll probably head back towards Essos after the story is over, if she lives. Meanwhile, Sansa will remain a political figure and could possibly end up the face of the new Iron Throne, which will probably be destroyed, but basically the face of the new political system. Now, even though I don't really think it'll happen, I would be all for Gendry and Arya as well. They do compare Arya to Lyanna, and then of course we have Robert and Gendry, so it would be interesting seeing them get together, even though we know how well that worked out for Robert and Lyanna. But anyways, back to Gendry being legitimized, we have seen it in the past. Ramsay was legitimized, and then Stannis even offered it to Jon, which he declined. And then of course in the books we have Robb doing it for Jon, that way he can take over Winterfell. So it's definitely not out of the question, and if Gendry survives and also helps them build the weapons and stuff out of dragonglass, he would of course deserve it. And everybody knows that his father was Robert. You can tell just by looking at him, and it's kind of cool to see how Jon and him get along, just like Ned and Robert did. But of course, with that, another question arises. With that threat, why is the question of whether to legitimize one bastard even an issue? That's because it comes with pros and cons, both which are linked to Dany and the matter of the Iron Throne, if it is not destroyed. As a new true-born Baratheon, you know, a house believed to have already been gone extinct, he could rally the men of the Stormlands to his side in the war against the dead. But Dany could also see his legitimization as a threat. Some lords might prefer to see him on the Iron Throne versus a Targaryen because his father once held the throne. This is where King Gendry comes in. So I'm not gonna lie, people ask me about this all the time. King Gendry, what do I think about it? So honestly, it's pretty crazy and it's not needed. That's just all I have to say. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna dive into it, but these are all just my opinions. So don't feel like this is definitely the way it's going to go, or if I don't enjoy talking about these theories, because they are entertaining. Obviously, I'm making a video about it, but this theory is just crazy to me. So first of all, I'm not even convinced that Gendry would want the throne, if, the big if, the throne is even around, because I do believe it will be destroyed, the will be broken, and there will be more of a democratic approach. There will be multiple rulers, not really a king. So with that being said, if for some reason Gendry did want the throne that continues to exist, he would have to be legitimized first. So right now, who would even legitimize Gendry? Jon has bent the knee to Dany, so technically wouldn't Dany have to legitimize him? Or on the other side, Cersei? So either way they go, why would either one of them legitimize Gendry if all he wanted to do was take over? So it would probably fall to Dany. He would have to, I guess, trick Dany into legitimizing him, and then after that, he would have to start, you know, trying to take over power. Dany is a smart woman. I feel like she would come to a compromise saying, bend the knee to me and I will legitimize you. So I think he would already be sworn to Dany, kind of like Jon is. So I really don't think there's any possible way that he would end up as king, if he even wanted it. I guess the other way he could do it is he could kind of do what Stannis done and just basically proclaim that he is next in line. But if you think about it, who would really fight for him right now? You pretty much have it split. Everybody's either with Dany and Jon, or they're with Cersei. So right now, he really has nothing to pull from at all. I'm pretty sure most of Robert's army was already wiped out, so it really doesn't leave anybody for Gendry. Gendry has to be for somebody else. And then, of course, the big thing that I use a lot that a lot of people do not like is how would it further the story? We have 6 episodes left, so how are you going to tell me that in those 6 episodes, Gendry is going to become king, and it's going to make sense, and it's not going to waste a bunch of time? I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening. But yeah, now you guys know how I feel about the theory of Gendry becoming king. I don't think it'll happen. I do think he can marry Sansa, and then they could be like the power couple, the face of the new Westeros. I do like that. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it wasn't too crazy. And yeah, make sure to smash that thumbs up button if you did. Make sure to check out all the social media. I'm sure I'm using Gerd's music again, so definitely check him out in the description below. And yeah, this has been Lycan Studios. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.